Okay, well, it's 4:30 in the morning. So trippy too is how I even woke up. Why it felt like, and my nose is running like crazy. I was sneezing and coughing. Like the sickness has got me. The sickness has got me again. Oh yeah, I have a story about that too. I thought it was interesting. This is so it was 4:30 in the morning, and the yesterday, I went and I got him. I tried to start the video by showing him because he's sitting right there looking up. He's so fucking cute. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He looks just like Stella, only with a shorter little snout, but the same coloring, and it's like the same. Only he's really, really tiny. And Max just got weighed, and he was 36 pounds, and this guy is way smaller than him. I don't know. This guy's probably like 18 pounds, I would guess, or something. He's so little. And with him and Stella, it's like this big and little of this. It looks exactly the same. And when he saw her, it was like he could recognize, like, but she's giant, and he is scared shitless of her. Every time, it's so funny, all these people, because I'm like, are they reactive to big dogs? Are they scared of big dogs? They're always like, no, they're fine with all the dogs. People don't get, like, when dogs get around big, giant dogs, they have a reaction. They definitely, it's not just like, oh, he's just like one of the rest of us. No, it's very different. And so, Max is very submissive to her, and she's very bossy. And she's been up in his face, barking her head off a couple times because he's been like too close to me, or is like he's touching a toy or something. She really tries to give it to him when they first get here. My hair is driving me crazy, so I'm gonna keep on looking at it and keep on pushing it out of the way because I don't know. That's how I feel like lately. And I've got a horrible headache. I got a horrible neck. I got horrible allergies. Stomach flu again. It's so funny too. Just on that before, because that's a quick wrap up. Is yesterday, you know how long I've been complaining about the sickness and the fog, and then yesterday, and my daughter lives in Yakima, so she's a few hours away, and she's in the valley, which the video with the people who are talking about what's about to go down with the tsunami and stuff, it's going to hit over to where they are. I told them to be ready, and the Mount Rainier, if Mount Rainier goes off, it's right above them. And that is, he said if Mount Rainier goes off, it's going to take out a lot of people. So I tried to tell them to be prepared and to be paying attention to the earthquakes and stuff because there's a lot of activity under Rainier. And I'm by Mount Baker too. So I've got to get out of here. Like if shit starts going crazy like a scary movie, I'll have to go up to Canada. Like, I don't even know. It's just going to be mental. Like, whatever. All this, if the universe had it in the plan that I was supposed to be out of here, I would get me out of here. It's like, I've done all the things, like, but things, this is what people got to get, is that, like, you got to really recognize when you're forcing things and when you're letting things happen, because what is supposed to come to you comes to you. Like, things would just all of a sudden open up. There would be, I don't know, it can happen in so many different ways. You learn how to read the signs through your awareness. It's like being alert, like, reading the signs of life. And it changes. When you are going through life trying to fight it and thinking that you have control every day over your destiny and what's going to happen and stuff like that, you don't. You have control over your attitude, not your day-to-day play out. That's already set in motion from the time that you enter. And everything is in this, like, perfect timing of who you meet when you meet them. And so you don't have to be, like, forcing when you notice when you're forcing something, you'll definitely notice it's out of fear. But you got to get into that emotion. You got to go, why am I doing this? Why am I, always it'll come down to, because I'm scared, because I feel like I've got to, like, in my mind, if I want to feed that vision of, trying to escape, going up to Canada, or with 3 dogs, maybe, who knows. And I've got suitcases I'm going to be dragging with my clothes. Sometimes I go through and I'll be looking at my clothes and I'll be like, oh, which ones will I pick? It's like, ugh. And when you have, I don't know, there's other people who I'm sure like me, and you got like a clothes collection, and you got like a lot of different kinds of stuff, and it's like, fuck, because I'm just like, there's coats, there's boots, there's hats, there's purses, there's all sorts of stuff. And I like vintage stuff. Like I got some cool ass jackets and stuff. So it's like, fuck. And those take up a lot of room. And I got boots. Like I'm not a high heels person, I'm a boots. And those take up a lot of room. And I got a lot of dresses, lots of dresses I like. So anyways, yeah, I could feed into that fear and get all stressed and be like, you know, oh, I gotta let her in. And this rain just all of a sudden started. I haven't even told that story, but I still gotta tell the story about my daughter. Hold on. Come on, hurry up. So, come on, come on. Shh. Oh, wait, it is kind of nice listening to it. We'll just listen to the rain and leave the lights on. Hopefully you can hear me over the rain. But it was weird. Okay, see, I get on too many stories. Because maybe that story is the fastest. Let's just do that story real quick. Because I was not sleeping well because he didn't really have any place to sleep. And he's kind of like, when he first got here, he would not come near me. Like he was sad. He's running all over the yard. He's trying to do everything he can to keep away from all three of us. And and so we're just sitting over there chilling on the porch, you know, just letting him have his space. And he just would go over. At one point, he even got up on my raised garden and was up on the beds and sitting there just howling in pain. Like, whoa, why am I here? What's happening? I felt so bad for him. God. And I would go and try and get him, you know, so I could give him cuddle. He'd take off running and barking at me like I was a monster. So eventually I had to give up. And then eventually he made his way into the house and started looking around, and then he started coming up to me and let me pet him and stuff. I'd already given him a bunch of treats, but he was still like, hell no, I don't trust you, lady. And but now, you know, he slept on my feet all night, so it was really it was uncomfortable all night. It's the couch is very uncomfortable, but I just can't make my way into there in the ghost room and deal with all that energy all night. It's too fucking much. It's too much just in the daytime. At night when you're trying to sleep, it's like, hell to the no. I'll stay out here, be surrounded by dogs. And then plus, it would be chaos. Because I know Max would come running in there and he would want to sleep on top of me. Then we got this guy, and Stella would be having a fit. Because that is where she used to sleep. And she knows it. I don't know, you know, she just can't climb up there anymore. And I don't know. She would need a big staircase. But she can't climb up on the bed anymore, which you know, it makes me, I wish I would have not ever trained her to now, so that she, because she always slept on the couch, she always was on the couch or the bed. It's so, but anyways, it's just like, that would just be so chaotic all night, just, but this is still, it's uncomfortable. I'm super duper uncomfortable right now. I'm like, God damn, fuck. And now I take magnesium, like it's like some people pop Advil, I pop magnesium. I really ache and pain. Magnesium, because there's a whole thing like you don't get, if you have pain and stuff like that, it's like a magnesium deficiency or something. But it hasn't quite worked out. But I take a lot of magnesium, and my hair is changing so much. I can't believe how much darker this bit is every morning. Like always with this light, with the white and the light, it makes it look more white. It's so much less white than what it looks like. I really feel like one of the mornings I'm gonna get up and it's just gonna be brown, and I get really excited about it now. It's like, oh, this is so exciting. Aging backwards is really pretty cool. But okay, so I woke up. So we went out and we went to the dog park and stuff yesterday. So when I get home, the car smells like doggy and stuff. So I left the windows down, and then I had forgot to roll them up, and I had taken all the cushions off because I knew it was gonna rain. I looked, even though it was weird outside again yesterday. Like our weather is so fucking hard. It felt just like it's snowing in Africa and stuff. And I saw a video like where one guy said, you know, we're dying. Like they're not right. They're not prepared for this freezing. And he's sitting there shivering. It looks like he's got everything on that he could put on. So I don't know how cold they're used to. But the weather shenanigans are just like crazy, man. And so anyways, it was really weird outside. It smelled weird outside. Like, it was weird. We were at the ocean. We went over to the ocean yesterday. It was so weird looking that it was like just an atmosphere that you could see over the area. And you know, a lot of them over those fog and stuff, but look at all these different colors. Look at how it looks there. Look at, no, there's something else going on here. And but you know how convenient, mess with the temperatures and create this carrier that carries the gases as far as the eye can see. As thunder. Maybe we're gonna get ooh, maybe the power's gonna go out too, though. Whenever the thunder, like, so we'll hear if it sounds like real thunder. Before it sounded like a fight up in the sky. Sometimes it sounds really fake, like, we'll see. But, and we'll see if lightning starts coming, because it didn't say anything about that kind of storm. So when I looked and it said it was going to rain, so I did all that stuff, but I forgot to roll up the windows on the car. So I was sleeping, and I woke up at some point in the night or whatever. So then I was asleep again, and I was laying there, and my mind started thinking about the car and the windows, and I started seeing them, and I started conversing with myself about it. You know, well, it's already going to be morning soon. I'll just wait. I'll go out and roll up. And I start thinking about, fuck, I might goddamn have mice in my car now. I start thinking about the mice and where they are in the car, because I have, you know, in the back of my car, I have my, what do they call that? Your get out of the place quick, be prepared stuff. So I have a sleeping bag, a tent, a few things back there like that. And so bug out bag, or your bug out thing or something. And so I started thinking like, oh man, there's gonna be fucking mice living out there in my fucking sleeping bag. So I was sitting there having a conversation about it, and all of a sudden I was like, oh fuck, it's gonna rain. And then I popped up, my eyes popped open. I jumped up out of the thing. I run to the door. I opened the door and I was like, oh, there's no rain. And I left the keys in the car, so I just go run out to the car and I start it and turn on, roll up the windows real quick. I was like, whew. So I'm in here, you know, just giving gratitude. Thank you for waking me up, you know, all this stuff. And I was making a cup of tea, and I was like, fuck, guys, thanks so much for... Oh, it was so funny too when I came back in the house and the dogs were like up going like, what the hell's happening? That's Stella moving it, seeing ghostly. That was funny, but I was given all that gratitude and stuff. So then I started setting up the thing. I gave them their treats and stuff. Stella was laying on the porch, so I decided I'm gonna start doing my thing. And then all of a sudden, this storm, it was so dramatic how it sounded. It was pure ass quiet, and then it just like blew this giant ass wind, and it just all of a sudden was just utterly like, it was noisier than this, because this your ears are already adjusted to it. So this is still loud, but when it came in the pure silence of the night, it was so fucking loud, and it came in so hard and strong all at once. And and I was like, oh my gosh, what would that have been, like a half hour at the most before. I mean, I was like, such good timing. They always do that kind of stuff though, and it's crazy, but that is how it works, and it works for me that way. Like I was already woke up, and you know, they're already pushing me through the different things. You know, because it's like they show you questions or something. It's like conversations. I don't know how else to explain it. And so, you know, when I was laying there, I was awake, but I wasn't, you know, like the same awakeness as like your eyes are up and you're talking. I was still in that state of meditation, and I, whatever wave state, I don't know, theta wave or something. I don't know, all these different wave states that you go into when your brain is in relaxation. And a lot of it is in the communication, and that's where I have a lot of communication, because my brain goes right into that real easy. And Like I can do that. I mean, you have a group of people standing there talking, and I can still just zone out and go and be talking to somebody else. So it's not, like, as I see these people, like they have to do all this stuff to go in their thing, but that's why I didn't know I was doing something. I thought it was just like how we all lived. I had no idea it was like something different. So, anyways, the so the rain started. I was so thankful. Oh, because I was laying there and it was going through all of that stuff. It's like this kind of like, I don't know. It's like promoting a reaction or getting you to think. It's like taking you through a process. And so, but then once they got to the reminder, the wet and all the wetness I've dealt with that car, how many times it was flooded and stuff. And right now it's dried out. I've done all these things to get all that smell out so it doesn't smell mildewy or anything. Which, if you are trying to do that, like I have keeping a box of baking soda in it. And then also I use baking soda as, I don't use laundry detergent. I use white vinegar and baking soda. So you can use those old boxes of baking soda, like if you use it in the fridge or whatever, to try and get out bad smells, which I forgot about that one. I ought to put that in there. But you can still use that as laundry detergent. So that's what I use. I always use white vinegar and baking soda, just that Arm & Hammer kind too, because it's so cheap. And then, and it may have like metals and stuff, but all of, like the water and everything, and all of our stuff, like our environment is so fucking poisonous to us. And it's really going to start showing to people if you're not doing detoxing and stuff. People are going to start getting real sick, real sick, and it's going to go real quick because it's so infiltrated. There's so much poison. Like I detox every fucking day, and they still keep hitting me with these sicknesses. And this was the other thing I was going to say, because yesterday, so my daughter messages me, and she says something about that they've been so sick. And Emery, even the baby, has been sick. And so she was kind of questioning, like, because he got sick first, I think. And she's like, I don't know how he got sick. Because he stays home. They rotate their shifts. So he's always at home. And so she said that, so I said, it's the poison stuff. And so I started saying, it's the toxins and stuff. And then my kids always kind of was like, okay, yeah, sure, Mom. And then, but she said, I'm thinking there's something weird. And I said, well, what it showed me was that I live alone. Like, who's getting me sick? Like, who's getting me sick? And then, another thing that's crazy too is because I've had allergy testing before, and it came back that I had 0 allergies. I was like, well, that's weird. Then how do I have all this stuff? And because it's not. It's our body's reaction to poison, to arsenic and stuff. It's like your body has its own reaction based on your DNA. Like, some people have a harsher reaction to aluminum. Some people have a harsher reaction to lead, arsenic, like all of the, can you hear how it's getting harder, raining? All of the, what is that, the table thing. But all these things that are bad for us, those things that have an effect on us in a negative way, especially because these people are mad scientists. They know of the domino. It's not like the doctors do. Like, don't fucking get in your head and think that these doctors are intelligent because they have degrees hanging on their walls. They are indoctrinated egomaniacs who are taught, they're not taught right, and they think that they are geniuses. So that's a whole fucking thing. And but so, and people have to learn that through going through, like, no shame to anybody who does it. I did it over and over and over. Went back to them to fix me when they kept breaking me. So it took me a lot of times of them, we ran out of Vaseline, but get over here. I was like, fuck, man. I swear to God, they've almost killed me several times. Well, you can't die, but they showed me. Yeah, I saw. I saw through them. You know, lots of people are. And lots of people are doing it very publicly. Those are like our, you know, our ones that we need to be raising up, like in gratitude, because those are like our martyrs and stuff. These ones that bring such a public vision, like Marcellus, you know, like that. I'll talk about that in a second. Let me think if I finished on the thing, because that, then my daughter was like, yeah, that's right. Who would be getting you sick? That would make sense. Like how you, and I said, yeah, you start seeing things very differently when, you know, you're getting sick and you're not around anybody. It's like, this doesn't make any sense, you know, especially when I'm a health nut. Like I have a very healthy lifestyle. It's not like I'm out drinking all night and then come home and like, oh, I got such a sickness today or something, you know. No, I have a fucking very healthy lifestyle. So, and you know, I'm healthy. I don't get sick, and it's not a sickness. Like my daughter said, she got a high temperature, and to me, like if you're getting, you got to follow your symptoms because your body's speaking to you. So I said that it's trying to tell you something. You know, like and everything is about you being short in something. That's what they know how to do that. They know how to be like, well, the aluminum's going to hit them a lot worse if they don't have any copper. So we're going to, you know, it's that kind of stuff. And so many people don't realize because it's so basic that you think like, well, we would all know that. Like it's so basic. Like you can't sit there and think like just drinking out of copper and eating off a cast iron and stuff is going to make that big a difference. And it's like, yeah, it makes a big difference. And so that's why, you know, they wanted us off of that. Oh, yeah, and there's more stuff on the nicotine now. What was that? A new thing coming out of another thing that nicotine is good for. Can't remember. But there's a whole thing. Because even with that, like how you get your purest form of tobacco, because then even, you know, anything that's good for us, they go in and they fuck with it and they fill it full of poison and stuff. And that's what gets me even on the food, because, you know, I sit there and think, well, it seems like all you can eat is nuts. So apparently that in order to make sure that they get the poison on that, they shell the nuts, like how we're always buying shelled nuts at the stores and stuff. Costco, these big bags, $15 and shit. So they shell them, then they spray them. Then they put them in the bag. Then they sell them to us. So, like, even the motherfucking nuts, like, what the fucking goddamn, like, it's so fucking, it's a goddamn nightmare. Oh, we're in a goddamn nightmare. I think we're all aware we're in a goddamn nightmare. So, anyways, so that was sinking into my daughter. She was being like, you know what, that's right. And I said, the most important thing to do is to detox, like when you're full of poison. And this is another thing, and I don't know if I've made this clear, but when you go and you take like allergy medicine, diarrhea medicine, and stuff like that, their stuff, it stops your body from doing the natural, get the stuff out. And you want your body to expel this stuff. And so like what Deb had said, you know, to do the bentonite clay, and it binds to the chemicals and binds the toxins or whatever it can bind to, and then it pulls it out with it. So it's not doing these interruptions or whatever with your body, as it more goes with it. It helps it along. So doing those kind of natural things and stuff like that is way better. Doing their chemicals and stuff to try and stop, you know, so I don't want to have diarrhea, I got to go to work, so I'm just going to go take some Imodium or whatever, Pepto-Bismol, chugging that all day. That really fucks you up, And so don't, and this is the part too, is why they keep us in that state, is because when you have time to heal, when you have time to yourself, that puts you in another state of mind. It raises the bar for you. So they want to keep you distracted and going all the time, or you don't have time to get better and stuff. And then they want to shame you into being like something's wrong with you. It's like, yeah, I've been motherfucking poisoned my whole goddamn life. Yeah, I got a lot of things wrong with me. You gotta give me some goddamn time to get fucking healthy. So so my daughter was like, okay, that it was making sense to her. And then, and this was all over text. And so then I went on TikTok, and all of a sudden all these videos talking about this was coming up. So I started sending her some And I think she's asleep hitting into this. And so so I was sending her some videos, and there's one that I saw. So this girl, she's on TikTok. I don't know who she is. I don't follow her or anything, but I've seen her. She's gone through my feed a couple times. Like I've seen her before, but I don't follow her stuff because usually when other people are channelers, that when they go in and they start channeling their information, it messes. I don't like the interference in my own conversation. So I need to see things through my vision, not through their vision, if you understand what I mean. And once you start being more telepathic and stuff, you will understand. It's like, that's their perspective, that's their guidance, that's their stuff. But the thing was with this girl, so she channels different aliens or something. She's some alien chick that she talks to, some aquatic being. She even drew a picture of what she looks like and stuff. And she said that the girl told her that the solar flares that are coming down are cleansing us. And the reason why everybody's so sick is because we are flooded with toxins right now. And this waves of energy is coming and causing our body to be detoxing and trying to purge this stuff out. Like our bodies are trying to accelerate. They're trying to purge out of this reality. And so then the people in charge here are flooding us with chemicals really hard right now, and that is what I have been saying. So this was matching what I have been saying. And then mine isn't because somebody told me. My journey is more of an awareness. Like it's like this reading the signs and listening. Like I don't know how to explain it. That's why I say we all have our different ways of doing it. So you just got to develop your own. You'll develop it because it will happen naturally. It's just that you got to start working towards it. Like to me, it's just start opening the conversation. Notice when you're having some weird thoughts and start talking about it. You know, where is it coming from? Who's talking to me? What are you talking about? Why do you want me to look at it that way? And get more conversation going, because you'll have other ones that'll come in and they'll tell you other things and stuff. So start just getting involved in the voices in your head. But so she said that this girl told her that the most important thing to be doing right now is detoxing. The rest of the stuff is going to, geez, lady. The rest of the stuff is going to happen naturally. Stella, you're hitting into my thing, honey. Could you lean this way a little more? Looks like she's got to be in between me and the other dogs always. So it drives her crazy. But that's, because she's a guard dog to me. And she's very attached to me because me and her have been a team for a long time. I just can't even believe she's about to turn 8. I'm so excited. Like, fuck. Like, I feel like I'm doing really well on her health. So, but she's still this growth right here. This growth is kind of bothering me. All I can do is just like, all they'll do is give a bunch of chemicals of the same thing as what the other thing is I'm doing. So the whole thing is getting the bugs out. So I'm just going to keep chipping away and chipping away. And she does get better and better. She's so much more playful. She runs around. Her coat looks great. And there's so much color in her and in Max. They've got so much red color, just like the same thing where I said so much red came back into my hair. That's the darkness that started getting darker, is this red color that came back into my hair. And it's Max. He was like pretty white when I got him, and he's like the whole top of him is orange. And Stella's hair has gotten so orange. This new little guy, his hair is pretty orange already. So I don't know but he's very young. So, he may not be minerally stripped at this point. I don't know. And Max, I don't know, what his original color was. If he was always white and then just his body's loving the copper or something, because he doesn't even get that much. He usually just drinks the water that I get out of the well thing, which I need to go back up there in today and get more. Like, I can't believe how fast I'm having to go up there and get water. But it's just like, fuck. There's just so much stuff. This whole thing is very stressful. All the things going on. So if you're feeling stressed and stuff, give yourself a break. And, it's logical to feel stressed through this. It's very stressful times, very trying, sad times. Oh yeah, I want to get to that. Okay. But, so on the sickness thing. Oh yeah, okay, so on that girl's video. So she said that this girl was saying that you've got to detox. Do everything you can to detox because we're being so flooded with chemicals and our body is trying so hard for this upgrading that it's really difficult right now. And she said the best thing you can do is drink tons and tons of water. And the girl who was talking to her, she said, well, all I can usually drink is this one big thing of water. It's hard to get past that. What do is there anything else that I could take to detox? And the girl said no. And she said, what if I add something to my water? And she said, add in minerals, if you're going to add anything, and which is the copper water, magnesium, and mineral salts. Like you can even put mineral salts right in your water. Lots of people do that. And the mineral salts they taste better than iodized salt. So it has a better taste. It's not as, I don't know, there's something with the iodized salt, when you take that, there's like I don't know, whatever they did to the salt to iodize it or create fake salt or whatever, it has like it stabs your tongue or something for a second. This salt is like more gentle. It's, and it tastes good. So, and then what was that another thing she said? 'Cause she said another thing that I say all the time. Mind, body, spirit. She said, you got to be up moving. She said, you got to be moving, like exercise moving, like what I keep saying. It's about movement. Like you don't have to get up and jog all, you don't have to go out and lift weights all day or any of that stuff. You don't have to be like, oh my God, that's so much. Every day, though, you've got to be consistently moving and working on your strength, depending on how far you've allowed your aging to deteriorate you. You have to build back up. So you just start out easy, If your legs have weakness and you notice how hard it is to get up and out of the chair and you have to use your arm strength a lot, start practicing every day of sitting down and just using your legs. Start finding your weaknesses and then building them up. See, like, where am I weak? Can I hold my hand up for 5 minutes? Can I do, figure out, where you have let yourself go and then start just consistently building it back up. But the movement, she said, is one of the better detoxes as well because it moves the stuff out through the filter system. And so it helps you to filter out the toxins. But you got to remember your kidneys, your liver and stuff are all in overdrive, and GI. They're hitting our GI really hard. And then she also said, let me think real quick because it was popping in, that the system, the mind, body, spirit, the movement, the let me think what that was. Oh, sweat. She said it's really good if you sweat. She said it's really good if you had like the red light sauna, which I had the red light, and sometimes it gets really steamy in here. So I'm going to sit with it. Stella hates this red light, which makes me feel like, there's so much stuff that they mess with, and then they tell us this is good for us. And it's weird because if I have that on very long, I start seeing spots everywhere, and I don't know if it's a problem with my eyes, but I start seeing where I can't see through the spots, and it's big yellow spots. And then in the sun that happens. When it very first started happening, it was pink spots. Everything was pink. And now everything keeps being yellow. But when I look out, if I look out towards, especially if the sun is up and it's behind the trees, so it's not like I'm looking directly at the sun, but when I just look up and I don't just see trees and sun and stuff like that. I see they're like it's like what is that? It's like, how do you call that? It's like cones of light or something. It's all these different colors of light. And they're all it looks different. it looks different than what it looks like. I don't know how to explain it. It's like looking at, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I could see it. I can send it to you. Like, try and pick it up. I can see it. Try and pick it up. Because it's like looking and seeing like all it's like if you were to see a painting from really far back and then you go up close to it and then you see like the stippling, the little tiny dots or something that makes up the picture. And so that is what it kind of looks like now to me. But it's not stippling or whatever. It's not the little dots. It's these little cones of color. It's like being, I don't know, like right now I can see, I don't know how to explain it. But anyways, enough of explaining that. So, but these lights that mess with my eyes, it makes me think like, I don't know, because we know that the sun is being artificially, and something's going on. And then these other lights that they tell us to buy and stuff that they could be trying to destroy us like the other things. But anyways, I'm going to try doing some of that red light therapy just in the house and stuff, and see. Because it's whatever, something with the detoxing. So when you're sweating, that it's getting a lot of toxins out. So if you, whatever you can do to be some sweating, but don't get all like, oh my God, I'm all sweaty or something. Let your body sweat it out. Let your body get the toxins out, because she said that was a really good way to get them out. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. So, anyways, that girl gave so much confirmation to all the stuff that I have been saying, and this huge influx, like I've been saying for a couple weeks, like they're hitting hard. The fog is way thicker. The sickness is way more dramatic. And what gets me as well is how when I get, this reaction that starts all this inflammation in my body, I can notice it. The same thing in Stella, and she's got the autoimmune arthritis, and I have. I don't know what the fuck I have. I know I've got the Epstein-Barr, and they said that if you get the Epstein-Barr, that's the start of autoimmune, but I don't know. I haven't gone through all the rigmarole of all their bullshit of getting diagnosed. The people who, like my sister, she's been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, then they switched it to lupus. They have her on motherfucking, she goes and sits and gets these treatments, like chemo or something, and has to sit there and get these treatments. And a lot of these people do. Who knows how much those things are. And so, I don't know. I'm just not going to play their games, because I know what's causing the reactions. And then you just go in and play more into their hand. And it's the most important thing is detoxing, getting the stuff out of you the best you can, and helping your body to filter it. And helping your body filter it may just be, oh yeah, because she said also to stay away from all of the foods that are, she said, eat fresh. So even if you like eat meat, she said it didn't matter if you're vegetarian or carnivore. Like, that's what I keep saying. Like, people get so caught up in this shit. You have to be vegan if you're spiritual. Bullshit. It's bullshit. It is, you've got to listen to your body. How you eat and what you're driven to eat. That's your personal bugging journey. It's not for somebody else to tell you the rules. This is what everybody has got to stop listening to these people, constantly telling them the goddamn rules. And so she said to eat clean, though, to stay away from all of their foods that they pre-make and all that, because it's so full of additives, it's so full of poisons. So right there, just making a jump like that, like if you eat a lot of those boxed meals or frozen dinners or any of that kind of stuff, then, and you make any kind of switch, you start like baking a potato, which, all this shit, like on the vegetables, they grew the poison into the vegetables. So like we can't get away, this is the thing. But when you go read the ingredients, like Chick-fil-A is where I guess it used to be they had 2 lines that was, and they were busy all day long, I guess. I've never had Chick-fil-A, but people get addicted to it, which I'm sure it's got something on it to make them addicted. But so they have 2 lines, and I don't know if people, like, you had to wait a long time in line to get your food. It was always just crazy. And so somebody was pulling up to it yesterday and they said, oh my God, look at this. There was nobody in the lines. There was one person up there waiting to get their food or something. And they were like, this is so crazy. But there's been all this stuff out there because they said ever since they started saying that they're serving not real food, that but they have 51 ingredients in their chicken. So that, and it's all chemical. And that is, so just dropping off those, some of those are super harsh. These ones that they've grown into our food and stuff, you know, we gotta just do the best we can to detox and stuff, but making those changes, you know, like don't go buy the french fries. Like there's a lot of bad stuff in McDonald's french fries and stuff, and how we've all been hooked on them. Everybody like, McDonald's french fries, because they fucking put this stuff to make us hooked, but then the secret ingredient is goddamn fucking poison. So then, so when you, you know, you were craving those kinds of things, go get yourself a potato. You can even fry it. And, you know, there's all this stuff now with the seed oils, and they're just giving us goddamn motor oil to cook and eat, and telling us LDL and HDL. Like, oh, there's so much mental bullshit here. But I don't know. They'll probably come out and say coconut oil is dangerous too. Like, you got to just work your way through the oils. I know that as beings, that the fats and stuff are important. It's like oiling a machine or something, and the fats are important. But another thing too is where there's people who are saying that the Tartarians were brethrens. See, I'm telling you, we're going to be going back to that kind of thing, where, you know, we don't need to eat, we don't need to go to the bathroom, we don't need to do all that stuff. It's we're leveling up our bodies. I'm telling you, things are going to be changing. Like, everybody gets all caught up, and there's going to be a step down. Like, there still will be a thing. But, like, people are saying all these farmers are retiring. There's going to be all this opening of farms and all this stuff. They're going to be giving away all this land. Well, yeah, they're going to be giving away all this land and stuff. And then it is going to be a personal thing, like where we grow our own food. It's not going to be like where we depend on these 3 guys to grow all of our food. And there's all these people, and then we rely on these other people to spray it down with poison to extend the life of it and charge us all this money for it and stuff. So it's going to be way more local, and it's going to be way more independent. Like, it would not surprise me at all if, like, you went to one town, you know, and they're barbecuing and having picnics, and everybody's out at the town square, and then you go to another town, and everybody walks around in robes and prayer, and nobody eats, and like, it's going to be all sorts of different things. It's going to be, and that people will gravitate towards it's like what they're looking for in life, what they're here to learn or grow and stuff. Like, whereas now you can look at all these different realities and be like, fuck, these people live so different. God, you know, because there is people who eat cats and dogs and stuff like that. And you know, it probably is a part of the reason why we're overrun with them. Like, as soon as there's too many deers, what do they tell the guys? Hurry, run out and shoot all the deers. There's too many. And then people will eat them up. Deers are cute as fuck. They're gentle. Like, cats are kind of mean. Cats are predators. Deers aren't predators. Cats almost get what they deserve. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I mean, not every cat is a vicious predator, but you know what I'm saying. And there's a thing too about which direction, how your eyes are. And the slit is a predator animal. And so, anyways, I just think that is so cultural. You know, it's what we've grown up on, what we were taught. And there's people who were taught, like, fuck, if it's running and it has fur and you can cook it and eat it, then fucking do it. Like, it's been survival in all different kinds of ways. And I don't know, maybe cat tastes real good. I've seen people in New York out roasting up fucking rats. Big ass rat. Like, they're fucking huge. I've never in person seen a rat that was bigger than, like, its body was like this big and its tail was about the same. I've never seen these rats that are as big as, like, cats. In New York, I guess they have ginormous rats. Like, right there, that should show people, like, we're not meant to live like this. We're not meant to live with like that, where rats are fucking taking over and becoming giant I don't even know. I bet you down in the tunnels. It is like that fucking movie, Ben. I was so scary when I was a kid, that fucking story with the fucking rats. So, God, I'm saying fucking a lot. I'm, no excuses. That's just who I am. So, but let me see. Did I finish up with all that stuff? Because there's so much confirmation. I sent my daughter that video and I said, I don't even know if she listened. I don't know if she could get past the part. Oh, I think she did listen. But I'm sure it was hard to get past the part where the girl's showing the picture of who she's channeling, because it's quite apparent it's an alien. But my kids know how much I talk about aliens and stuff, and like it's just so funny now how people are like, "Oh, well, you said that a long time ago." So anyways, I had said, this was confirmation of the stuff I was saying. And she said, yeah, it was. And I said, I send you these videos to show you. Like, I don't know who these people are. It just popped up. And she goes, look, our phones are listening to us. And we weren't even talking. We were texting. But to me, my algorithm, it's not just like AI. Like my guides or something work with my algorithm. Like, videos come to me like you can't even imagine the stuff that has come to me, how it matches what I'm going through. It's crazy. Like, and that isn't just like AI. There's my guides. It's like works all together. Like there's something magical in this world. Just like them waking me up right before this giant fucking rainstorm comes in and tells me go roll up my windows, and because I had totally forgot about them. And then I was just making excuses. I'll just wait till it's light out. It's fine. And then all of a sudden, though, the rain. I was like, oh, fuck. So, let me think. Oh, yeah, because I told her, I don't know who this person is or something. Because sometimes they think I'm just following these people and I just believe everything they say. And then I'm sending them the videos so they'll believe it too. It's like, no, my information is not coming from these different people. My information is coming from my internal guidance, my awareness, my conversations with the other side. That it's my what I see, what I see. And when I hear someone else saying it, that's confirmation. And then I always think, like, if you guys hear someone else say it, that'll be confirmation, and you'll be like, oh, she's not the only one saying it. She's not crazy. And I don't know how they take it, but I told her, and she goes, yeah, I know. So she says that she knows, because I know I've told them before. You guys, I send this over confirmation. I didn't get my information from these people. I don't even know who these people are. And anyways, but that's all. Everybody's on their own journey. But it did seem to really get my daughter thinking in a new direction, which that's what it takes, man. Is just opening your mind to a new direction, and you'll go off on it by yourself. You don't need somebody to lead you. We still got so many of these people out here, these spiritual life coaches. They're going to tell you, just turn your life over to me. I'll tell you what to do, how to live. I'll direct you. It's like, I've got internal guidance, and mine is so strong. Mine fight. You come and start trying to tell me what to do, and my internal guidance says different. My internal guidance will win every time, but they will definitely battle you. They will not be like, hey, go do what they say. No, that doesn't ever go. So, and it can be uncomfortable to always be going again. No, I'm not. No, that's, and sometimes, I'm giving people other ideas and stuff. Well, what about this? What about that? Some people can't hear other ideas. There's only one way to do things, and it's the way that they think. And they're not able to think outside of the box. They get so stuck. And that can also be based on biases. Like, you can have somebody who has no respect for you whatsoever, and it's going to become crystal clear to you because everything you say is just stupid. And they don't give it any respect or any kind of reverence, like, yeah, that's a good idea or anything. And so they can't even see the spectacle of you because they're so busy, in their own doom and gloom, or living in their own world of shame, and they've got to hold everything in close. And obviously, if you are with them, you got to be an idiot too, because they're such an idiot. That's where the things get twisted. That's what people don't get. When people don't love themselves, don't respect themselves, they're sure the fuck gonna not respect you. They're not gonna love you. And anytime that you want them to, you are asking a little too much. You fucking selfish ass. Like, it's so fucking toxic. I'm telling you, the relationships when two people are independently whole and they come together, it's a disaster. Like, I just can't say it enough. The most important thing for young people to do is go out and find your wholeness. Go out and find you. And it has been cultural. Even, I just saw a thing talking about in the Netherlands, like they have this cultural thing with the kids. At a certain age, I don't know if it's like 10 or something, they're expected to go out into the forest and sleep by themselves overnight. And it's a part of like this coming to age. I have said this has been a thing since the tribes used to do that. Like, a young brave, he wanted to take a wife and have a family. Then the chief would say, you've got to take your time. Like, I think it was a ceremonial kind of thing. And then there would be a big party and they would all be, they would be dancing, sending him all this energy and everybody would be so proud of him, and he would take off on his journey to find himself, to prove to himself that he's ready for this next step. It's going to make me emotional because it's real and I can see it all playing out. And it's, but in Vikings, like they even did that in the show in Vikings. They show he had to go out into the forest and live, and he had to battle a bear and stuff. Like, you go out to become the person that you're going to be, and that's what life is all about. It was like when I parted ways with Dickie, I was like, went out into the fucking forest with the bears and all sorts of predator. It was like quite a life's journey. When I look at it, I was like, God, it could have been so simple. But, that's where it's like, coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's not what I was here for. But I definitely get to see, because it shows you the error in your own judgment. And what I really recognize is the interference that insecurity cost. And it's super important to work on yourself and build yourself up before you go out and start trying to, I just can't express it enough. So and so on this other thing, this was, the Marcellus thing. It's been such an emotional fucking thing. It's watching this play out, and it's so heart fucking breaking. And I just hope to it's hard for me to imagine that this is going on so motherfucking publicly, and Donald is just sitting back when he was giving all these other people clemency. I'm really hoping that there was something playing on behind the scenes, and that the reason that they let it go through publicly was so that we would see, because there's people now who are putting a lot of stuff together, because everything, you gotta remember, everything is to show the corruption behind the corruption. And this governor of, and all these bad people have always been the ones who moved up. They're fucking strippers, informants, and they're running the country. So this dick, he was back involved in some kind of case. And so 20 years ago, there was some kind of case. This girl is, people are out there putting together a lot of information. So this girl that was done in, that Marcel is being blamed for. So the girl who was, she, I think it was this. She was, like psycho, not like, so she was, a journalist who was on a big story, who was going to be exposing a lot of injustices in the judicial system or something. She was going to be exposing some shit, some dirty cops or something. And that guy was one of them. This guy who was the governor here, he was involved in this case all this time ago. And then he, where the speculation is that he was the one who did her in, and this other guy was the guy who was a scapegoat or something. But this guy knows about all the stuff. And there's something way, way more shady going on. I don't know all this stuff. There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of stuff people talking about. But for him to be involved, and then for it to be a journalist who was trying to expose something, we all know the fucking movie details in that narrative. So that is definitely, and I'm sure it's going to bring down more people, but I'm just hoping that it was all a part of this show, that they really didn't do him in, because that is so motherfucking outrageous. And it has so many people outraged. This was the thing that was just like, man, last night I was just like, fuck, this is going to be, because all the way up until that point, you have hopes, like, they're going to get that call. Once they said he was gone, it was like, are you motherfucking kidding me? Like, people's, like, the whole fucking floor fell out for so many people. There's so many people who were like there was over 1 million signatures on his petition, and there was a line of people at the governor's office bringing in stacks of papers. I'm sure it was all they printed it all out, and it was person after person carrying them in. It was so emotional, man. And because this guy's covering his own fucking self. I kept thinking they're such cheap asses. They don't want to pay this guy for his time now that they stole from him. But it goes to a whole nother level when you're trying to cover up your own crimes. But then this is the awakening. This is when everything is exposed, when we see the truth. And our world is built so much on corruption, and it's all being exposed to us. So this is going to be a huge thing that's going to be shown. And but what was getting me last night, it was like, fuck, this is going to be Rodney King. Like, there was people who were protesting at the White House, which the White House is empty. Like, there's so much weird shit, but they're on fences. Like, they're further back. But it was people protesting all over the place. Like, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be worse than Rodney King. This is going to be bad. And then I was like, oh my God. Don't they have, like, right now, they have these meetings going on over New York that they keep making this whole thing about, like, oh, isn't that convenient? They're going to release all this stuff about the diddler at the same time that we've got these huge important meetings going on with these motherfucking globalists, and they are in New York with this shit. And that's probably why there was all of this, these soldiers that were being put in hotels and stuff there or something. Maybe because this is when shit is going to go off. Because I was like, oh, if they fucking go and start doing that, it's like a setup. I feel like it's like a fucking setup. Like and the people who are the most outraged are, of course, the same color. I don't even know the stats on the numbers of awareness. Like, I would say probably in the darker tones that 65% of the people are aware of what just happened. And I would say in the lighter tones, maybe 40% of the people know. It could be like 20. Like, one of my daughters, my one little grandson, he loves to FaceTime everybody, so he calls me. And so I asked her, because it was like right at the time when they were going to be doing him in. And I was like, I wonder what's going to happen, because I swear this is going to turn into worse than Rodney King. And the dad of this little one that FaceTimes me, he was in LA during Rodney King. That was where he was. That's where he lived, was during that. And he talks about that to her, and she's like, oh my gosh. He was a little kid, and he said he was out there with them in the streets too. Everybody was lewd, and everybody was tearing shit up. And he said it was so fucking crazy. And, so so I was saying, and she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I start telling her stuff, and she's like, I don't know who this is. I have not heard anything about this, so I don't know. I mean, the numbers could be 40% and 20%, like, I don't know. But there is a lot of outrage. Like, all the videos are definitely carrying this same energy. And I was like, if they turn this into, right, it's going to be a motherfucking setup. He's going to be, the UN wants to say that, our government can't control us, and that they have to step in with their nationalist bullshit. And we are surrounded by their paid employees, the instigators. They're being funded by these people. And so, and they are, committing crime after crime. Like, the amount of shit that is going on is mind-boggling. Like, it's so crazy. And don't get caught up in fear and being scared. You gotta remember, anything that happens to you is meant to happen to you. And if something starts to happen, fucking take on your role as a goddamn superhero. You gotta remember, you are fucking eternal. Like, don't get caught up in the illusion of this. That is, remember how the aliens all look at it. They look at it as like, you guys are in some container. But the thing is so many people are in their container and think that they are the container. It's like, you're not the container. You're what's inside. Even the aliens are trying to tell you, this is a container. This is not you. When they are fucking doing things to you, you gotta think of this as a shield. Like, you can, look, it's like the thing in Matrix when the bullets are coming and he's just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, we can do all that stuff. Like, you are like a superhero. Like, you are the things that they showed in movies. You are those things. They just get you to focus on, like, I see like Superman, and you know how there's Clark Kent and Superman. So everybody's got this Superman inside of them, but they just get you to keep on thinking you're Clark Kent and you don't know your own power. So if shit starts going down, pull in, like, and another thing too, like how I see it is like you're being confronted by some motherfucker, and all of a sudden you pull in your power and you recognize, like, dude, you want to fuck with it. You can think of it an angel, demons and angels, because this is the energy that we're carrying. We're bringing forth the angelic realm. We're bringing forth the light. They are trying to hold us into the dark, and they're trying to beat us down. You got to remember, you are of the light. So you stand up fucking tall and pull in your ancestors, because there's an energy that comes. It would be almost like how I see in the vision is, it's like in the mind's eye, they will recognize, but in the physical they wouldn't be able to see, but in their mind's eye. And that's how these people fuck with us a lot, is get us to, in our mind's eye, see something and then be confused. I think that's something how the MK Ultra works, how they get some of these people to become like the ones that are going into places and everybody is, it's almost like that they have them confused in their mind's eye. And so so when you go into that spiritual realm of pulling in, showing, it's like showing your true self, showing your Buddha. It's like, like in the movies where they show like an alien and it's going, and then all of a sudden goes, and it's fucking 5 faces come out with all these teeth. That's where you need to stand up and be like, know your power like that. Like, oh, I may just be standing here looking unhuman, but I'm fucking a internal badass motherfucking being, and I know it. And so, and when you pull in your ancestors, to them it's like, from their view, it's like all of a sudden you aren't just you. You've got dragons, you've got all sorts of shit behind you, and that energy is gonna be very intimidating. And eye to eye, you hit them with your eyes, and the dark doesn't like, don't shadow back from their glade, their gaze. Don't meet it and match it. Like, you got to realize the spiritual determination that you are creating with the light, going against the dark. And like, you may have some practices leading up to it. Like, you may be at the grocery store and you're doing something and somebody does something weird and you look over and these like devil eyes look at you. And you like look away, like, what the fuck? Those kinds of things can be like challenges leading you up. Don't look away. You meet that gaze and you pull in your power and you go right back at them. So don't let them shoot out their fucking devil glaze, devil. What is that? Like a laser eyes. It's like devil laser eyes at you. You go, angel laser eyes back. Like, just hit him back with the fucking love. And but you got to remember, angels are also warriors, and badass warriors. Like, you're not just one thing. Like, you mess with you're gonna see. So don't cower back. Don't get scared. Is some people are going to have contact with these people, and a lot of people are having contact with it, but it's like written it's written in the stars. It's written in your contract. Like, whoever takes you out was always going to take you out. And you, like, I mean, it gets real creepy when you sit here and you think, like, well, these people could know each other or something. Oh, yeah, their souls do. They come in and play all these different parts. Anybody who comes into your orbit is meant to be there. There's no accidents. There's no, like, oh, some stray came in today. I don't know who the hell they are. You may not have soul recognition, but you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to have every motherfucking one that is your soul people come in and be like, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. No, you have got to, it's funny because, yeah, we do have to get to that point of just, like, love, but it is, okay, let me see that, because now this is really going. See, there's this, see how there's two things, because we do need to be going towards this unity of just loving each other just because we are who we are. But this is the thing, is like, in this other part of the reality, the part that we're leaving behind, right now, there's a lot of people who are being done in by people. Like, I mean, like this one was weird. Like, this girl, and she just graduated with her master's. So she's been fucking going to school a long time. She just graduated. She may have already had a lead in on a job or something. Her parents are super proud of her. She goes up to Taco Bell or something, some fast food restaurant, and she's waiting in line, and all of a sudden this car comes up and just slams into her. And so she gets really scared, and she calls her dad. You know, Dad, what do I do? This car just slammed into me. And he's like, what do you mean? You know, he starts asking her questions. And she goes, he just did it again. He pulls back and he does it again. And so she starts panicking. In this restaurant, the dad, the people who are working there can hear the dad. He starts yelling at them to call 911. And so they call 911. At the same time, he hears the guy come up, and the girl is panicking. She's like, Dad, what do I do? He's coming up to my door. What do I do? What do I do? What's happening? And you hear all this. And then there's one of these loud sounds. And the dad didn't know what it was. He thought it was like him banging on the window. And then there's another one. And then she's gone. And the dad on the Bluetooth starts yelling, I'm going to come fucking kill you. And then I'm pretty sure that guy just did himself in. And then they're like, you know, why? What the? And so far, what is this guy, in January, the cops were already aware of him. He was already, whatever was going on, they already were aware that he was ready to take himself out and take anyone with him. So it was a complete stranger. But this is the thing, is on a soul world, it's not a complete stranger. In the soul world, that, yeah, this guy, you couldn't go and just take out a complete stranger. Like, it's like written in the stars. It's like contracted events. It's like, and it has to do with these other things. But see, the people who are in the roles, like the dad can't recognize, like, oh, but the recognition is the the parts we play, the seriousness of the part. If you understand what I'm saying, like the seriousness of the part will really show you. You know, these are, you know, from my soul group. And it's not supposed to be like, oh, well, I got to just love him. But some of those things are like, there is a whole thing about people who have had family members taken out by people, and talking about finding the forgiveness and stuff, the value. Because all the different souls are on all different lessons. Like, you don't know the dynamics of all this in the whole soul's journey. But watching it all play out, watching all this horrible things play out, it is overwhelming. And you can start thinking like, fuck, it's fucking dangerous. Which it is. It's very dangerous right now. And there is going to be a lot of people that are going to be taken out. There is going to be a lot of stuff that is going to continue to go down. And a lot of people are going to be leaving. And you got to remember, though, they're leaving to go to a better place. They're not leaving to go to a worse place. We're the ones, they're all sitting there feeling bad for us. That's why they go around us. Like, we've got a lot of people around us right now. We've all got relatives and ancestors, protection. Like, you've got a team with you, even though you feel like you're alone. Or you may not feel like you're alone. You may feel like, yeah, but it's important, I think, to have the awareness that you aren't alone, that you have a team with you, and to talk to them, to talk to them. But it's, anyways, the people leaving, and people get so sad and so tragic and all this horrible stuff. What was that one? Because I saw something the other day. My stomach's growling. I'm hungry. The one with, I don't know, I'm going blank. Yeah, like most of the things I keep seeing, it seems like we're Marcel, the diddler, all the people now linked to that. Now they're throwing up all the politicians that were there at these fucking parties. Now, in the country music, now there's a video or a interview of what's that guy's name? The Achy Breaky Heart, Billy Ray Cyrus, Miley's dad. Which there's been so much stuff that's already come out on that, like the Disney and Nickelodeon and her show, and so already Billy Ray was already on the chopping block of like weirdo freakos, and so now there's this interview of him talking, and this is old. This is like from 2012 or something. I'm not sure of the year, but he already had short hair. He'd already cut off the thing. So he just had like a shag, like a Bon Jovi hair or something. And he is talking about Diddler. And he's saying about him inviting him somewhere. He says a lot of stuff where now we hear it very different, what he is saying, than we would have heard it back then. So he says a lot of stuff where it's like, oh my God. And then he says that's why he wrote Achy Breaky Heart, because he said that Diddy wouldn't take no for an answer. And we've got that and all sorts of, there's all sorts of audio and stuff. Like that one, who is that guy? Is that Mike Miller or Mac? I don't know, some guy. And the one that I guess that he goes to Pound Town on, and the bodyguard, or I've always got all these people around. Somebody out of the posse goes and opens the door. No, he audioed it. He's standing out because he's like, what the hell's going on in there? I think it's from that one. I'm not sure. Could be a different one, because I think that he turns into a monster or something. Like he gets taken over by the sex beast or something. Like, fucking dude, control your impulses. But he's going to Pound Town on somebody, and he's like, you know what you're here for. You can't say no to me. And shit like that. It's like, fuck, dude. And there's this girl, this other one. I saw this girl who was traumatized, and so she said, and she didn't go to one of the freakouts. She was at a studio. She was with her manager. They were both girls. They were in a thing with all these guys. So there was like a manager, an electrician, or electrical. It was in a studio. So I don't know if this girl, they wanted to talk to her about singing background or something. I'm not sure. But she was there with her manager. She's really, really pretty. And so Kanye and the Diddler are there, and 3 other guys. And she said she's known these other guys, especially one of them was an older manager kind of guy. And so she said that they're in there and they serve them drinks and stuff. And she just like pretends like to take a sip. And when she pretended, she said all of a sudden she realized that there's something in this drink. And she was trying to tell her manager, don't drink it. And she sees her manager take a sip. And then she's like, oh, shit. And then her manager takes another sip. So she's like, fuck. So she gets her phone out and she starts texting her. Kanye walks over and grabs her phone. Who you texting? What are you talking about? You can't do that. We're here to party. Takes her phone and takes it away from him and puts her over on a speaker. And then she said instantly, it was like her manager turns into this other person. She said it was really weird because she said her manager is very insecure, shy, and quiet. And she said all of a sudden she's talking and loud and saying all sorts of shit. And she's like, oh, fuck, his drugs. And so then she starts like getting nervous and she's putting her drink down and stuff. The two main guys, they're already drugged up. They're already, like she said, they were already out of control. But she keeps thinking, well, she's safe because these other people are here. And then all of a sudden her manager starts leaving. And she's like, wait, what are you doing? She's being real loud and obnoxious. And she's like, wow, I'm just going to the bathroom. She's like, no, don't go. And she goes, I'm just going right there. Like, have this big thing. So she goes stumbling out drunk now off her 2 sips of this potent drink. And she goes in the bathroom immediately. And I don't know, how long does it take this girl to pee? A lot of shit went down in this time. And then the guys came over immediately, started trying to rip her clothes off. They would tear her clothes and have her almost naked. She's looking at the other guys to help her. And they all just look away, look down, look at their phone. And so I haven't even heard the whole thing of her story. But there's all sorts of these different people coming out with these stories. The aggressiveness of these people. But, you know, I don't know. This whole industry is just, you know, it's gonna go. And there's a lot of people, you know, there's a lot of people from Hollywood who have the recognition that this is the end of the old Hollywood is going down. And there is people who are saying, you know, this whole new thing is going to erupt and it is going to be independent. And that will be cool, you know, it will be different. Like I had said, it's going to be a lot more, you know, like bands. There's so much good musicians. So there'll be so many bands. And I think that there's going to be a lot of people who will do plays and stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of like plays and stuff. I'm sure there will still be money going into movies. I'm sure because we've all enjoyed movies, and I don't know, you know, we'll just see. It's us, you know, it's us. It's who steps into these roles. Those are where we're going to keep going. It's the things where it expands. And it's going to come from the things that we really love. It's the things that we like. Right now, we're seeing what we don't like. We don't like this at all. We don't like this at all. We don't like being poisoned. We don't like that at all. We don't like control. We don't like them teaching our kids things that kids don't even need to fucking know. And not teaching them the things they do need to know. So their whole system, we don't want their jails, we don't want their prison system, we don't want their food, we don't want their medical, we don't want their education. Like there's nothing that they offer us that's good. But you know, we're capable of doing all of this stuff ourselves. We just got to go smaller. That's where confirmation. We don't need to control everyone else. That's where we build up from community, and we just worry about our community and you know, our tribe, and building up our tribe to the best it wants to be, and showing the rest of the tribes, you know, like how good we're doing, what we're doing with ours, and how we are. You know, it's going to be a lot of successful communities. They're going to be propping up from all over, but like I said, it's going to be a lot of different kinds of things. It's not going to be, you know, like everybody has to conform. Everybody has to be this way. Everybody has to be a 15-minute city and stuff. It's going to be way different than that. This is where creation, because we're all creators that have been stifled and held back and stuff. Once this creation thing is lit in everybody, boy, it's going to be like, it's going to be cool. It's going to be like living in a cartoon of an art exhibit or something. So it's going to be fantastic once we get through all this, but we're still at the part of people going into the recognition of who and what they are and getting their ideas off of like that they're the container, and that the container really matters that much. Like we judge people's inner from their outer, which makes no sense. And that is where the illusion was created, why we could be tricked and stuff. But that's a part of our learning. That's part of our seeing the depth to where it is we need to look. But just remember, anybody comes at you, start practicing this eye thing. Like, you are sending, when you look someone dead ass in the eyes, you are sending out what you believe, what you think, or whatever. Like don't be sending out negative shit. Like, don't do that. Don't be trying to I hope you die. I hope you die. Don't be doing stuff like that. I hope you fall. I hope you trip. Or just don't send out that, because one thing is this is, the life of witches. You learn that you pull in this dark energy, you pull in this dark spirits and stuff. You don't want this dark shit around you. You don't want to fucking, hey, me and you make a pact. You do my dark, dirty work, and, I'll be there for you. This is how all this fucking shit has gotten us to where we are. You don't want to be fucking dependent on the dark energy. And so you don't want to go into that kind of thing. If anything, you send a bunch of love into somebody, directly into their eyes, and they're the dark, it's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. You can imagine yourself staring them in the eyes and see yourself like shooting arrows of love like Cupid, and directly hitting them in their eyes. It's funny because I think they'll start like blinking and start being like they'll feel it. Just practice in little things like that. Start recognizing your own power. Start playing little games with yourself. Another one that is interesting too is, have yourself sitting in a chair, and then start going into your mind and seeing yourself up in the corner of the room, and get your mind where you're in the corner of the room and start looking at the room from the corner. That's where you start seeing yourself from outside of yourself. And it's trippy when you do see yourself from outside yourself, because you'll be surprised. You'll be like, whatever you think of how you look, something will surprise you. Like, you would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so much shorter than what I thought. Or I look so small. Or I look so round. Or I look so skinny. Like, it will be something where it's weird, because inside the container, you don't get the full idea of what the container is unless you step out of the container. So, but you can play these little games of getting control over your consciousness, and, and trying to move things or something. Like, there's a lot of different things to do, but now I've been talking for a while, and I won't go off on a whole nother thing, because there's the whole thing with there's a whole thing with energy, like, and you can, like, you have a lot of energy, like Spider-Man, just right here is an energy thing. And so if you take your hands, this is something you can practice to learn about the energy. So you can take your hands and you put them together, and you start creating a little ball. You start moving it back and forth and moving it back and forth, and you'll feel it. It will get bigger and bigger and heavier and heavier. You can move it and you'll feel it. Like, I can feel the heat of this thing. And so you create it, and you can put things into it. Like, you could put, like, you have this, and it's like, all of my sadness. This is carrying all of my sadness. I'm letting go of all of my regret today. I have, looked at my regret. I've experienced it. I've processed it. I'm ready to let it go. And I'm putting it in this energy right here, and you can build it. Like, you can get a big ball out of this, but when you are going to discard it, you're supposed to throw it down into the ground so that the ground will dissipate it, like transmute your energy. I would think, it would be better to throw it out into the dirt and to not throw it real far, but I don't know. Right now, as humans, we're just kind of like tossing it, but I feel like it like spreads still. So I feel like, maybe even taking it and grinding it down or something. But anyways, if you do those kind of practices, you will start feeling like, whoa, there's something in my hands. But you got to take it. It's real. Like, you can't, like, this is where you wouldn't just, you could throw it like a snowball. But this is where those of us who have done these different kinds of lifetimes, like witches and wizards, and have played with the energies and stuff like that, that you learn, like, that you don't want to be using dark energy. You don't want to be like hurting other people. You don't want to be doing stuff like that. And this is why at this point in time, like, we had to evolve to begin to know our own powers of magic, to be able to know our own abilities, because otherwise it would be used for evil and stuff. It would be people would be like, yeah, I fucking hate that teacher. Fucking I'm gonna doing it. And then see, they don't realize, like, you're doing witch shit. Like, this is stuff you don't want to be doing. And so this is where, that's probably why there is so many, you know, people who were witches and wizards and shamans and stuff who are here to try and help to explain some of this stuff to people as this is starting to become available, so people can really, it's not like we're teaching, I swear it's reminding people, because even if people haven't had those lifetimes where they did magic and were part of the mysticism or something, that there's people who were witness to that. Like, there was people who were witness to these different things. So it would still, you would have a memory of it. But everything, I swear, it's not just like we're just teaching. The lessons come in your day-to-day. To me, it's more of those of us who are speaking it, is speaking our truth gives people like the parameters to surrender into their own truth. Like, well, that's some crazy shit. My stuff doesn't sound so crazy now, so I'm just gonna be real. Like, I'm not crazy. Like, this is real. This is true, and start believing in yourself. So for some of us to, you know, believe in ourselves, help other people to learn how to believe in themselves. So you have that. And then you have some of us talking about things that people have forgotten. So as the veil is being removed and people are starting to get their memories back and remember, and you have all these people talking about things. It's like, oh, fuck, I knew that. I knew it. And so it's all of this is like very coordinated event. Like, everything in the awakening is a very coordinated event. And I just really hope that Marcellus made it, like, he's one of the ones that are going to come out and be like, oh, because I think Ian Heche, and I still am kind of curious about the Friends guy, because there sure is a lot of talk on his stuff. And I think his death, if it's fake or not fake, I don't know, but it definitely is a part of disclosure to bring certain people out into the public awareness, like all of these different ones. So, and that is kind of funny how that sheriff, what was that? The sheriff went in and shot the judge or something in that one town. And then the next week we got this other guy who's putting to death the innocent guy on a crime that he was involved. Like, there's a lot of, see how, like, coordinated, the coordinated events happening. So all the things, you know, it can seem really scary and seem really overwhelming and all of that stuff. But just remember, like, the universe is all around us. And it is all a coordinated event. And no matter how scary shit gets, that even if a clap of thunder, that's what it would be like. You know, you leaving your body is not a scary thing as like what they make. It is like a clap of thunder and suddenly you're out. It's like a boom, I'm out. And if you find yourself out, I still say, you know, you can try and get yourself back in. You may have to talk to your guides and stuff. You know, there may be some messaging that they need to talk to you about or something, and that's why you're out. But if you're meant to go back in, they'll just put you right back in. But but I swear there's something to this part in this awakening of you being like, well, I'm going back in, and putting yourself back in. I swear there's going to be some of that. Just people all of a sudden realizing, like, I'm not gonna die, I'm going, and just popping themselves right back into their container. So, you know, if your container blows up, like, you can't pop back in. But that is going to be as much as it's like a clap of thunder and you're out and you're watching it all, and you're having a reunion. You know, you have everybody out there with you. Oh, and right now we have a big event that's happening. I think it's in Ohio again. Like, there's so much shit that is coming out about Ohio. Like, there's a lot of shady shit. What did I say? The places that have got the most stuff going on has got a lot of shit. It's got history. It's got an energy that's being purged out in a big show of the corruption and stuff. And so I'm sure there was a lot of bad stuff that went on there. You know, murdering tribes and taking their lands and just bad stuff. So but they've got some train derailment or something again, only it's full of toxic chemicals. It's leaking them out. They're evacuating. The people who won't evacuate, they're closing down schools and everything because they think this train's going to explode. So is this their lead into, oh fuck, this exploded? And is it on the fault line? Is this going to, are they trying to start that? Like, I don't know. I don't know. They're just going to keep hitting us hard. And it just keeps reminding me of this fight that just happened. This is Jake Ryan or Jake Paul or whatever this guy's name is. He was a YouTuber and he got real popular. It was like a lot of drama around him all the time. It seems that he was constantly like creating drama or something. I'm not even sure because his YouTube thing was a long while back. And it was, I don't even know what people were talking about back then. But he got popular, and then so people started knowing who he was, and I don't know, he started working out or something. Like, he just sees drama, so now he's trying to move up to A-list drama or something. I don't fucking know. But he worked out, he became this huge fucking buff guy, like Mr. Muscles, but mouthy as fucking shit. Then I think he's done some fights, and then he was gonna fight Mike Tyson, like right away, right out the gate, you get Mike Tyson in the ring, like what? All this shit is so absurd. And so they just had the fight, and Jake Paul or whatever his name is, he was making all this big fucking thing, being mouthy, you know, like how these fighters do. And then Mike went in there and knocked him out in the first fucking few minutes or something, I think. And so that is how we got to be approaching this battle, you know, with what's going on here. You know, we don't want to be Jake Paul in this shit. Like, no matter how much they hit us, you get back up. We fight this to the end. You know, we're gonna make it, you know, hit for hit. Like, you can't stay down in this what is happening, this battle that they have us in. We got to fight to the end, and you got to keep getting back up. And that is, you know, that's what gets you to the end, because they're going to keep going and we got to keep getting back up. So whatever they're going to do today, it's going to continue to be action packed. It's going to continue being crazy shit that's going to keep happening, horrible things, sad things, tragedy after tragedy, because that's the period of time we're in. And then whatever leads to this big flipping, then once the flipping goes, then it's going to be a lot of shock, a lot of going through the grief cycle and the cycle of feeling bad about themselves. And so a lot of purging and healing is going to be going on. At the same time, though, there's going to be a whole stepping into this new wave of energy. So there's going to be a huge group that's going to be stepping in as community leader, all sorts of different things. So, so to me, that is where things are going to really get good, is once we step into this other part. Even though it's going to be really hard, and we have this shocking stuff and these horrible things we have to face, and then all these sad people, but there's still, oh, and the Christians are saying that all of us need to get our shit together because they're about to be raptured out. I don't know if they're saying like this week or next week, but their rapture is about to go and they're all going to leave, and they're, you know, really wish the rest of us would get our shit together and come with them, but we're all going to be really sad here real quick. So I still think the rapture is different than what they think. The separation of energies or something. I would say, you know, when the place that you're going to stay is going to be heaven on earth, I wouldn't want to be going out. Like, I would think, you know, if this place is getting better and you're leaving it, like, that doesn't seem like a good plan to me. But I've tried to talk that to my mom, and she just goes back around what the book says. When, you know, that all the people who want to rapture are anxious to rapture. They want out of here before the tribulation. And I think the tribulation is actually the process of the grief cycles, you know, of facing your own darkness, facing yourself and stuff. Because that is truly a very significant battle. It's a hard one that beats you down because you can't get away from it. It's inside you. You can't go sleep. You'll have it in your dreams. It'll keep you awake. You just keep thinking and overthinking and thinking about this and going over all your choices and people saying things to you and stuff. It's just like, oh my God, you want to escape from it and you can't. So, and there's going to be tons of people going through that. And so anyways, we still have some stuff to go, but to me, we're right up close to whatever this event that's gonna go down. And who knows, like, there was another thing, something with our earthquake things, and somebody's saying something about one that happened in the 1700s. It was a 9.5 or something, and what happened with the land, and then it's like 47 feet under the water now or something. So there's a lot of people talking about this, how big this tsunami is really going to be, and how big, because they're saying it's going to be like 950 feet high, and it's going to come in miles, and it's going to come in miles fast. Like, it's going to be like boom, and it's going to come, like, if it comes over where I'm at, like, that's a lot of water. It has to go across to the peninsula, but it still is going to come in far. Like, it's going to come in far fast. So I don't know what, whatever is going to go down, but they're saying that when that happened, that there was a shift, like these drops, the plates dropped and fell and turned and stuff. And that's what it is shown in that movie over in California. Like, there's like in the one movie, it showed like a plate popping up, like the plates are like this, and it pops up like fucking that, pops up, and it's sitting in all the houses are like this, like people would be falling off, and it pops up like that, and then it crashes over. It's like, son of a bitch. Just keep on thinking like, okay, well, it's gonna go fast, and most of the people are be out of their body, like it's the show is for the people who were left behind. Like, the people don't really have to go through that. They don't really have to get squashed and find their way out. Like, their souls leave before that stuff happens. The container is an illusion. So the container is not real. So anyways, I'll just keep on talking and talking and talking. We'll get up to 2 hours a day. No, we won't. I did want to show you. I want to show you this guy. I don't know if I had already had said, but he's so freaking cute. And he's so small. So I will get a video. Right now he's sleeping. They're all asleep. So anyways, we'll see what the day brings. It sounds like it's supposed to rain all day here. So I don't know, and there was no more thunder. So I don't know what. We'll just see. Again, some places are going to blow up trains, and who knows. Like, just be ready for anything, and don't be scared of anything. Yeah, that's funny. Be ready for anything, but don't be scared of it. And remember, your eyes are weapons. Like, practice, but send love. Don't send out hate and anger and stuff. And I don't know. Just remember what we're doing here is learning how to love ourselves, to love everyone else, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to us. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.